Okay, everyone, back with Recycling Reality. I want to do a video about motors today. This is all the Halloween stuff I've been doing. My mannequin props and stuff. I wanted to have a little emotion in a couple of them, so I decided I'd throw together some motors. And I watched a couple other videos, and like everything else, everybody wants you to go buy these motors from Deere motors from wherever for whatever price, and usually $10 or more. And any scrapper is going to know that we got motors everywhere. There's motors in everything. Seriously. So just real quick here, we'll take a look at these. We've got these are motors out of the microwaves. It's like we did the other day. These ones, they turn the turntable motors, and they're really slow, nice, slow, steady motors. Anywhere from 4 or 5 RPMs to 30 RPMs maybe. You got these motors. These are like cassette players, radios, other types of things that have a little faster motor. These are drills or other types of power tools that are a little stronger. It's a copy machine motor. This is your standard issue windshield wiper motor. These are good for your back and forth motions like that. The fan motor for air fan, and then of course your washer motors, which are big, heavy duty. And then of course every scrapper's got their bucket full of motors here, of all sorts and types. This is a kind of thing you're going to get from scrapping. There's a bunch of motors from all kinds of things from different ones, and you can take them in and 8 cents a pound for them, something like that, depending on the current prices of what they're going for. So but like I'm trying to do the recycling, reuse, repurpose kind of a thing. So it's always good to do that instead of going and buying. And this is this motor here. This is what you buy off of Amazon or eBay or whatever. This is a Deere motor, more or less. You purchase it. I painted this one. But for the price, I can get the same action with this here, which is I've taken one of these microwave motors, and I've took another Deere. The motor was dead. I took the little cog off of it and put it on here in this and I put it in the box, and this gives a nice little action that's going to do a little prop that I made, and it works pretty good so far. Which so what I did is I put it in an old speaker box there, like this, in here, screwed it in there, just ran it, because these motors, you don't have to worry, they are 120 volt, they're not 12, so I'm off whatever, took them out to a power supply. And I took this guy, it's a dollar store skeleton guy, and I put him on a post, and he's gonna go out with a little cog there, and what you have to do though, he gets a little up and down motion there, but I took a bucket and cut a hole in the bottom of it. Put that over my box there. Oops. Do that first. Stick him through there. Put it on the cog. It's got a hole drilled in the little post he's on. He's on there now. The box down. The reason for the box as a whole is because it limits the movement of this back and forth. Otherwise, you just go flopping all the way over, all the way that way. So, get him going here. You'll get just a little, not real fast or nothing, but get the movement out of that, and spray paint that bottom part, and he's going to go in the hot house somewhere. Just some movement in there in one of the hallways or something. I like to have something going on with it. Uh, that's you know, that's nothing. You just with stuff you have on hand, except for the dollar store right here. The other thing I'm doing with these motors is this another microwave motor here. I put this color wheel that came from a Christmas decoration thing on there, and now this is just going to spin, but I'm going to have a light behind it, and it's going to spin colors all over the room that it's going to go into. So that's another little cool thing I made for that. And you can use motors just for so many things that you know, it's like, I mean, you could actually tear them apart as well. I mean, there is copper in there if you want to tear them apart. It's a scrapping type of thing. You can get them like that. Take it apart, and there's copper in there. You got to get it out of this metal piece here, which is a little bit of a chore, but it can be done. So that's another thing you can do, and scrappers do that. Or, you know, I've just come to the point where if I just do the motors, I'd take them all in and just motors get whatever it is for them. Because there's a lot of work to get into these windings here. They're not too cooperative when it comes to opening up very easily. So I have just, you know, I just take them in as is. But I've been saving up a lot of these motors, especially these microwave motors. Come from the Travel microwave. These are really great for all kinds of products I found. They're not very strong, not real fast, so they just kind of move things slow and steady. You know, of course I use the wiper motors too. These ones are real good. I just pull these out of old cars, and you know, and they're very useful for the good back and forth motion for something, and they're strong, and they have a lot of weight, and they're 12 volt, of course. You hook these up to batteries or you know, a converter type thing, and I use a bench table as power supply for them, or you know, also build a power supplies from computers, which you take these take your computer power supply when you tear apart a computer, and you can convert this into a bench power supply thing. There's videos out there how to do that and everything. It's not that complicated at all, and you can make it run several different voltages, because the computers have several different voltages for every little part inside of them. So these are really cool. I've got quite a few of these that I've been, because I tore apart a ton of computers last summer. But they make a good little power supply, and you just put them in there, and they're, you know, and they run things just fine. So anyway, now when it comes to all these other motors, which you know, there's some, you know, I've used these ones for to make an electric bike. That's still kind of a work in progress. It didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to. I've watched a lot of videos on that, and they do it every so different ways. It's all about the gearing. It's a very specific, you know. Anyway, when it comes to these motors, the trick to them that makes them work, the microwave motors, is the bar. That's what you want to have. It's the most important part, is that little L shape. You bend those, because that's how you're going to get the movement. You have the shape going down that's going to attach to your bar, or attach to your motor, like that. And then you have your upward beam that's going to attach to your prop, or your mechanism in your prop. And that's very important, obviously, because if you just have the motor and you're just spinning, it's going to spin around and around in a circle. Then you're just going to get, you know, around and around a circle thing. Now, if you want to have any kind of motion to it, that's why these reindeer props come with, or reindeer motors come with this this bar on there, because that's how you get the motion. It creates a circular motion. So if you have it like this, it's going to go up and around. And if you have it sideways or downwards, it's going to make it go this way, whichever way you're going to have the motor. And then, of course, with that, you can add on to it, put this one there, and then you can also make this so it pulls a gear or another lever, makes something else move. That's how that shape right there is the most important part, though, to your motor. You just take the regular motor, you know, it's going to go round and round. So you just take a part. I found that another scrapped item is the printers and old fax machines. They have a little round bars that are in there for the, you know, feeding the paper through and such things. Those ones, if you get the ones that are like some kind of hollow type tubes to them, they bend real easily, and they they're perfect for this project for making this arm. The square ones aren't so great. I just did that as an example. This is just a piece of cheap aluminum I have around here. So but that shape, that's your whole trick to getting the thing to moving. So for instance, I built some clowns the other day, the mannequin props, and I was just going to put them out there as they were, but I decided I wanted to have some movement on them, so I modified one of them that I did the other day, and here he is here, and I put an arm on him, so you can see. And you know, just like everything else I have made around here, this is some just old stuff that I've had around here that I repurposed. And down here, this motor. This is not a Ranger motor, but this is a out of a record player. This motor, and I took one of those tubes. Oops, sorry about that. I took this tube from the copy machine, bent it in that shape, secured it with a couple of hose clamps, and drilled a hole through this piece of PVC, some bolts and some washers, and attached it up to here. And now this is a bit more powerful of a motor because it is a record player motor, and not a microwave motor. So it's a little bit more stronger, but it's really, you know, I wanted something that's going to be a little bit faster and moves a little quicker anyway. And so here you go. That's a little going backwards on me a little bit, but getting the most part of it. A little bit more adjustment to get it exactly right, but it's going to be, you know, just stabbing it. It's really fast, obviously, you can tell. So, I mean, for the most part, it's doing what I want. It's a little jerky, but it moves them around and does the job for what I want it to do. So, and, you know, so it's a little jerky on the forward motion. Can't flip around back there. I'm going to add probably another hose clamp on down here on the lower part to keep that this arm here in position on the motor arm. And you know, this of course will be all covered up, and I'll put a sleeve on him and everything. He's going to have a knife or a mallet or something like that, you know, something on him, but he's going to be moving quick, so that I didn't want a real slow one like my ghost I made, you know, that's going to be there. So I'm probably going to make a couple other ones out of those Ranger motors, just to do some other things. And I'm kind of experimenting with different cranks. I may, you know, add another piece here. You can, like I've said before, you can just do anything. It's not you know, you got to be thinking outside the box, and don't be afraid to you know, experiment a little bit and make something. And if it, you know, if it doesn't work the first time, try again. And you know, this one didn't work out the first time, and it's still a little rough, but you know, I'll modify it and make it a little bit better. And this is all just some stuff that's around here. PVC pipe I had, some concrete marker stakes, or you know, these motors from all the motors I tear apart. I've got so many motors I can't even tell you. They're everywhere, and every size you can imagine. I can, like that big fan motor that I showed you. I got something planned for that, and that thing, that's high speed, you know, it's obviously from an air fan, and yeah, it moves quick, but I have an idea for that, and it's going to move really fast. Like a lighted up twirling thing, similar to this little guy, but it's going to be on a bigger scale, and the light coming from inside of it all around, and it's going to spin really quick. So hopefully that's going to be cool. And I'm putting all this stuff in my haunted maze that I'm building this year, or finishing this year, and getting close to having it done at this point. And you know, I'm gonna go work on that some more today. And I got different scenes, and it's you know, watch all these haunted house videos from all over the world, and you know, the country, big old haunted houses and stuff. So I'm kind of, you know, getting different ideas for different scares. And my haunted house for in somebody's yard haunted house is pretty good sized. And it's not like I've said before, it's not just put it with tarps and black plastic and you know, PVC pipe in my front yard or backyard. It's a full-on building, you know, construction. And because I've said before, I'm making a kind of a ghost town in my backyard, kind of out, you know, where we're at. We live out in the west. It's kind of a, you know, ghost towns are everywhere, so it's kind of a little thing to. I have a lot of properties, something to do. I started out making some sheds for storage on my property for all the scrapping stuff I was doing, and it kind of just a local person here had built a little miniature ghost town in their backyard with a little schoolhouse and a little church and a little whatever else, a little county clerk building or whatever. And so I kind of got the idea to do that, and but I upscaled it to like almost full size on some of them, did some of the buildings, and it just it got to be kind of out of control with that. So as I was doing that, building the interiors, I started wanting to do more and more and more with it, and kind of started building these little hallways and passages. And pretty soon I was thinking, well, I could just build a ghost town or a ghost town in my a ghost house in my ghost town. And that's kind of how that went. And so I'm still working on it, and I have several buildings now, and I'll show it to you guys pretty soon when I've got everything hooked up and going. It looks really cool at night. It's going to be it's always Halloween in Low C. The town of Low C, Lowsea, Low C. So there's a reason for that name, but we'll get into that later. And so, but it's always Halloween in Low C, and so it's gonna be a permanent year-round kind of ghost town and ghost haunted attraction as well. We're gonna bring the whole family over the night before Halloween this year, and it's I have a bunch of kids that we're gonna bring through it, and it's just for our family kind of a thing. But I like it. It's for me. It's something for me to do, and kind of my hobby to do. Part would go along with the scrapping. It's just something else I can do, because it's a lot of times you go to pick up stuff from people's houses, and they got this the scrap electronics or whatever, and appliances and whatever you're getting. Sometimes they have a pile of old wood or fence post or something like that there, and they're like, anybody to clean that up? And they're like, well, yeah, I'll take it off your hands, I guess. It's a little, I can always use a little bit of extra wood, and so that's how I end up with tons of wood for free as well. So all this stuff. These two projects here, the clown and my ghost here, that they're a grand total of $0 to build and create. Well, except for the ghost himself. He's a whole dollar that cost a Dollar General or whatever, at the Dollar Tree, I mean. And so everything else though, the motors, the plastic, the screws, but nuts, bolts, free. And that's that's the way I build everything. I don't like to go to Home Depot or anywhere else for anything at all. And it's recycling and reusing as much as you can without having to buy more stuff. I want to go through I have pans and buckets of nuts and bolts and everything from all these places, that storage sheds I've cleaned out, and just endless amounts of that stuff. Plus, all the motors. It's just all this stuff can be upcycled, refurbished, repurposed. And that's kind of what I try to do as much as possible, instead of just scrapping it out entirely to the junkyard. So, that, of course we do that, but that's just, before I go to that, I try to do something else with it. So anyway, for now, that's get on with it and get on with the day, and get back to working on my haunted house for Halloween. And we're gonna do another video soon about the a little bit more in-depth talk, I think, and it's going to be just a talking video about the what I've been talking about before, about the the reality part of the recycling reality, because it's another conversation altogether. And I don't mean by just recycling of material objects, but the recycling of our actual reality and how that could be playing in now. So, scrappers out there, I know you guys can, catch on to it. You're the kind of people that not conformist, and you want to kind of think outside the box thing. So I'm going to give you some ideas possibly that are outside the box for sure. And it's going to be a little bit different take on things, and my take on over the world. And, agree or disagree. It's not, but it'd be something different. And, I think you guys are open-minded enough to get that. And, because I know if you're like anything like me, you're outside this mainstream garbage. So I hopefully it'll be something you'll be interested in listening to. Anyway, so that'll be it for today. Have a good afternoon, and thanks very much.